here I am, once again, feeling lost. But now, and I'm gonna start the video. I still don't have a theme song, but I promise I'll make one soon. Yeah. Travel back in time with me, back to a simpler time when you didn't pay rent, you didn't care how much gas was, you didn't have bills, no problems, because you were a child and all your problems had simple solutions. Like if you wanted to be famous, then you just had to go to a talent show where famous people were, and then you would get a record deal, and then you'd be instantly famous. Or if the guy that you liked didn't think you were cute, all you had to do was pull one of these numbers. And all of a sudden, you are the most beautiful girl in school. I took television so seriously. I took movies so seriously. I swore to God that inside of a plot of a TV show would be all the answers that I would ever need in life. To the point where when Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide for middle school came out, me, an elementary schooler, would watch this show and take notes because I was like, I need to get ready for middle school. This is an example of one, how much I thought TV was gonna help me, and two, how early my anxiety disorder started. Because what 10-year-old, 11-year-old do you know is sitting around taking notes so that they can survive middle school? Very weird, very strange. So some shows were just so impactful, like Ned's Declassified, that my tiny little underdeveloped brain needed to emulate. So iCarly came out, I needed a web show. Didn't have a webcam, didn't have the lack of supervision. Zoe 101 came out, I wanted to go to boarding school. My parents refused to send me because they said it would be nothing like the show. They were correct. But finally, Victorious came along, and I was like, guys, this is it. This is what I need. I need to go to performing arts high school. I begged and I begged, and I did. Victorious aired in the years 2010 through 2013, so it wasn't a very long time, but it was very important to my little middle school, high school brain. It was on Nickelodeon. It starred Victoria Justice, Leon Thomas, Liz Gillies, and very notably, Ariana Grande. So the show was really impactful to pop culture, and many of the characters are still working in the industry now, either as actors, as writers, or as performers. It was one of the very few movies and shows that were about being at an arts high school, not just being in a glee club or being at a show choir or being something in a regular school. It was an arts school. And I think that was really important to me because our art school didn't have things like in Glee. We didn't have cheerleaders, we didn't have football, we didn't have any sports, and our cliques were so different because we didn't have the regular things that regular high schoolers had that made people popular and not popular. We just liked to be talented, and that was how our cliques were formed. It was different, and that's why I was excited to see a show that was different. Now, did that show give good representation? Not really. In my unexpert opinion of the show, it's unhinged. Season 1 is probably the only season where I felt like, oh, this is kind of like how it was like when I went to school, but the rest of it is just crazy. It's completely unhinged. I watched a handful of episodes before I started recording this video, and like I said, the season 1 episodes I vibed with, I remembered, I didn't skip a beat. The rest of them are hard to relate to, and not just for me, but I think any teenager in the world maybe wouldn't be able to relate to these episodes, so I'm not sure who the show was for. I didn't do as well as shows like iCarly or Zoe 101 because it kind of didn't have a point. Big episodes, I remember the first episode when she auditioned. Thought that was huge because I also would love to not have to sign up for an audition and still make it. The episode when they had the Diddly Bops, love that because Andre had a big part in it and because they sung little silly songs that me and my friends would sing at school as well. The karaoke dokie episode, the acting test, very good episodes. I think they're all in season 1 though, and then the rest of it gets kind of crazy. Because the show did a terrible job of explaining what it's really like going to our art school, I'm gonna give you a little inside tip. The first thing you need to know is that we are almost always in arts classes. I actually remember a lot of my school schedule, so I'm gonna list some of my classes so you would know how many classes I took in my 4 years that were around performing arts. let's go. Speed round. Are you ready? Okay. I took piano, music theory 1, electronic music, and orchestra. My sophomore year, I took 2 of basically everything. Junior year, I took vocal lessons, music history. I took a music education class and a chamber music course. My senior year, I took AP music theory. I took orchestra, took more music education classes. I had friends that were taking jazz history, that were taking analog music, recording music, and that's just the music stuff. We had so many arts classes, choirs, vocal classes, bands, visual arts, screenwriting, dance. We had so many dancers. There were like 10 different levels of dance. There was musical theater, there was regular theater. It was a lot. It was a lot of stuff. And even saying it now, it's so exciting to like remember that I was surrounded by all of that like fun, artsy energy. Another thing that's at art schools that I think Victorious kind of was nodding at, the teachers are kind of intense. And it's because they take their art very seriously. And sometimes a 14-year-old won't take their art very seriously. And then it becomes a 14-year-old and a 45-year-old yelling at each other. And it can be kind of interesting. That was in orchestra. I will not name the arts areas where that occurred, but it was not orchestra. So I was lucky. And at art schools, there's lots of star students. So Tori from Victorious being like the lead in every play and being like the number one person in all the shows, while it's unrealistic because she could not sing even half as good as literally any other person on this cast, which is not her fault. She was cast in it. She took the role. They liked her. But the girl could have went to a singing lesson, maybe one or two. That happens. We have, I remember specifically like a number of people who were always getting lead roles. I wasn't in the theater program, so I didn't know why it was happening, but I saw it a lot and I saw it on the show. So good on show writers for showing that. But the main thing that was missing from Victorious were the gays, were the LGBTQ community. No representation. That was kind of what my school was known for. Like, that was the gay school. So to see a show about something that was so similar to what I lived and have like no gay representation was like kind of funny. But it was a Nickelodeon show and it was 2011, so. Another thing that was kind of left out in Victorious is people at my school were they were having sex. But the main thing that I think this show did a terrible, terrible job, except maybe someone like Sinjin or like Robbie, like those characters would have gone to school with me. Nobody like Jade, too sure of themselves. Maybe the weird edgy girl for sure, but Jade has a confidence that would not be in my school. But like there's just like a type of person that is just a weirdo person that goes to an art school, and it is hard to describe and clearly hard to write because the show didn't really. There were so many different types of hijinks and fun stuff that I remember from high school that sometimes mimics parts of the show. And so what I'm gonna do today is see if my husband can tell the difference between something that happened to me in high school and something that happened on this show. So I'm gonna go get him. Stay right there. We're here. It's Jordan. Jordan, wave hello. That's his married hand.
It is, you see?
Don't look at it. It's married. Jordan's going to play a little game that I made up. It's called One Time in High School. I will describe something that happened to me in high school, and then Jordan will tell me whether or not it actually happened to me or if it happened to the cast of Victorious. So here's an example, a practice one. This one's easy.
Okay.
So one time in high school, one of my friends threw a party at Kenan Thompson's house, and the cast of iCarly showed up, and we sang our theme songs together. Me or the cast of Victorious?
I'm going to say the cast of Victorious.
Absolutely. That's 1 point for Jordan in theory.
Not in practice.
In practice, he's got nothing on the table.
Okay.
But that was a good practice.
Great, thanks.
You did a good job. Pick a letter between A and J, please.
Start with G.
One time in high school, we had a day where instead of going to class, we all went into the gym to learn about each other's differences and stop bullying.
I'm gonna say that did happen to you in high school.
That did happen to us. Good job, sweetie. It was called Challenge Day. So it was like a nonprofit group that traveled around schools, and they would go to every school and basically just make us bawl our eyes out so that we would stop being mean to each other. It was very effective. It basically was forcing us to learn empathy. It was like, some people you go to school with, their parents are dead. And we were like, no.
Wow.
It was a lot. Okay, that was a good one. That's 1 point for Jordan for anybody who's keeping score.
Look at me go.
A through J.
B.
One time in high school, there was a guy that one of my friends dated that was pretty obviously just dating her so that he could have help with her homework. So he came up with a plan to embarrass him by exposing him for not doing any work.
I'm pretty sure that's Victorious.
That's an episode of Victorious. You're so good at this. Because my friends are really sneaky. We would have absolutely embarrassed a man.
Yeah. I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
The friend group.
Yeah. You're doing good. That's 2 points.
That's 2 points.
You can almost foot a 5 spot.
I don't think I can do that.
You're right.
I don't know if I will. Let's do J.
J for Jordan. It's a short one.
Okay.
One time we put on a big show that showcased all the majors at our school, and it sold out.
Is this both?
No, it's just
It's
my
just
school.
yours?
And
Okay.
actually, I lied. So the thunder's a little ominous.
It is a long one.
I lied because that's not one time. That happens like every year. It's called Extravaganza, and about half of the school stops learning in class anymore. We're rehearsing, and it's a good time. You're doing great.
So I said B, I said G, I said J. Let's do H.
One time at school, we had a play about racism, so the theater teacher had all the white kids practice saying racial slurs.
Oh my God! That definitely happened at your school. Oh my God!
What an episode of Victorious that would have been.
The Black History Month episode.
What would Andre have done? What could Andre have done in this situation? Nothing. This is actually something I heard about after we graduated, but the theater kids definitely were like, it was when we did ragtime.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I was in the pit in ragtime, and I remember that they would sometimes say Negro instead of redacted.
Redacted, yeah.
And sometimes they would just say it. They never let the people in the pit know what it was, so I'm just down there. Wow.
That is horrific.
So another letter.
Let's.
Keeping it light.
Yeah. Let's do I guess.
I. One time in high school, one of the students started a Gossip Girl parody account called Gossip Squirrel, where they spread surprisingly accurate gossip about other students in real time.
That was Victorious.
No.
You're kidding.
We had Gossip Squirrel. We did. We had Gossip Squirrel, and I remember specifically because there was this one girl who had 2 boyfriends, and that is how she was found out, because Gossip Squirrel took a picture of her holding the poster board that one of her boyfriends had proposed to her with, but she was holding hands with that other boy. It was Gossip Squirrel that exposed her.
That's outrageous.
Yeah. They did have an episode of Victorious called Roborazzi, though.
Oh.
So that was more of a TMZ parody. Some of these are hard.
That was difficult. That was challenging, yeah.
Just kidding. That's the only one that's...
Let's do D.
D. One time in high school, we had a project where we had to write a play, and me and my friends were really excited because we finally got to work together. We ended up not getting anything done, and an unnamed friend did all the project his or herself for everyone.
That's tricky. I'm gonna say Victorious.
It's Victorious. a very boring episode of Victorious called Wi-Fi in the Sky. And they're just like working on stuff. It's like if they had a quarantine episode of Victorious. But there was no reason to have one. Like there was no virus. They were just being boring.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason why I thought it wasn't yours is because you were a music person. So I don't know why you would need to write a play.
Damn it. Pick another one.
Just trying to use my thinker up here.
Yeah, I think you're thinking like whatever.
Oh my lord. No, let's do C.
One time in high school, a girl came to school dressed as a mermaid. But because of her mermaid tail, she also had to bring a wheelchair to school. So me and my friends learned a lot about bullying that day as well.
That was your school.
That was very real.
Yeah, that was very real because I think I remember you telling me this and remembering that you and your friends maybe weren't the best people.
What we learned was how to bully.
That is horrible.
No, it was I don't think we were the bullies, but we were having a blast watching it because this is, cyberbullying was hitting the streets.
It was new.
Hard.
Yeah.
They had movies about it. Girls were crying.
Yeah.
There was no place to feel safe. Cyberbullying was hitting the streets, and I remember because we were a very active Twitter school, which is how you knew our school was trash. I remember just watching everyone subtweet this girl. And this girl was like, sorry I have fun. Sorry I have an imagination. I mean, just eating everybody up.
Your booze mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
I mean, like, I'm sure in retrospect, she's just the proudest ever.
I'm proud of her.
Oh, yeah.
That's good for her.
She learned a lot that day, too. None of us would have learned anything if she would have just came to school wearing fucking skinny jeans.
That's true.
So.
That's true. She taught all of you a lesson. The whole school.
And now she's teaching all of you guys a lesson. That the people bullying are the stupid people. We were definitely the stupid people.
There it is.
We literally had little tiny brains and everybody else was being like, that was weird. Now, is it jarring to see someone being wheeled around your school who you saw walking yesterday, who now has a mermaid tail? Yes. But there's an appropriate way to react to that.
That's true. Like, whoa. I think is probably the appropriate way. But that's crazy. And then you move on. You don't hop on Twitter.
Touch some grass. Buy some bird seed and sprinkle it around. See if anybody comes up.
Get some milkshakes.
Bring some boys to the yard. Absolutely.
Let's do F.
One time in high school, there was a lewd video circulating around of two students who had implied relations in the gym locker rooms.
Implied? A lewd video that had to have been your school.
Yeah. That was my freshman year. I didn't know none of those people. I don't know the people in the video, but I do.
You didn't know what it was.
I don't even think I even knew what relations were. And I'm pretty sure people were just calling it a sex tape, and I was like, what is on this video? What could they have possibly recorded on this sex tape?
Nobody knows.
No one knew.
To this day.
Lots of people knew.
Oof.
And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it was the man or the girl, but one of them had a baby that year. So, I don't know.
Something had to have happened.
And that day, we all learned a lot about contraception.
Right after you had an assembly
We
where
did.
they let you say lewd words in the middle of the gym.
We didn't
And
learn.
then everybody cried.
Everybody cried. It's mixing it all together. All the memories together. Okay. A or E?
Let's do E. Let's save A for last.
One time at school, this just happened to me and I'm mad about it. I auditioned for a play. And because I'm a vocal major, they wouldn't let me show. And the teacher was so and it made me so mad because he didn't like vocal. He was like, show me up. Huge problem. Anyway, that was me. That was E. You get 10 points because I feel supported.
I'm glad, sweetie. I'm glad.
Thanks. The last and final question.
Okay.
We saved the longest for last.
Oh, is it the longest?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
One time in high school, we would always go to this one place, and then they started having karaoke. And we had never sang there before. No reason for these girls to be upset with us. We just always went there. They started having karaoke. And because we were from an art school, they hated us. And they said they could sing better than us. So they challenged us to a little sing-off thing. And It was like unofficial, but we were the winner.
So that was Victoria.
Dang it. I thought if I sounded upset, you would think
You
it
were
was
really
me.
getting me. You really were. In my head, I was like, she's really getting upset about this. I think this probably did happen to her. But now I'm remembering the whole episode. So...
It's a good episode. It's because it has the duet with Liz Gillies and Ariana Grande. Marriage of support, guys.
There it is.
So, Jordan, you have points.
I do.
And I will be transferring those points into your bank account today. I am Discover Card. So now he gets cash back.
And this leads straight into our sponsorship.
So thank you, Discover Card, for sponsoring this podcast. The only credit card where you can get points for being on a YouTube show. So if you want to get points for being on a YouTube show, first you got to subscribe to this. Then you've got to come on my show, and then you've got to get all the questions right. But most importantly, you got to get out there and you got to get a Discover Card.
I actually missed one question.
You did?
Yeah, I got one wrong.
You have to get all of them right unless you're Jordan.
Oh, there it is.
Because he's sweet.
Thanks.
Don't let your life stay exactly the
Change
same.
your life.
Change your credit, even for the worst. Change your life just to make it interesting. That's my slogan.
Beautiful.
Okay, are you done? You have anything to say to the people now that you've gotten all your points and now your credit's going to go down?
All I can say is someone else needs to come get some points, please.
I know that we were joking before, but I really do think because our relationship is something that I care a lot about. And I want to share this with you guys. We always say, no players, no points.
We do always say no players, no points.
So if you're not going to play, you're not going to get any points.
That was beautiful.
Thank you for coming on.
Of course.
Bye. I consider myself very, very lucky because when I look back on high school, I have more good memories than bad. I have so many good memories of shows that I was in, productions I got to see, people I got to meet, and I learned so much. I think high school was the first place for me coming from such like a sheltered private school where I learned to understand different people's points of view. It was the time I wrote my first song, I wrote my first string quartet, I made my first arrangement. Like, it was just a really cool time for me specifically because I didn't have bills, one, amazing, and two, I just had so much time built into my day that was supposed to be for creativity. It was beautiful. It taught me so much, and I think I'm so lucky. So if there's any Douglas Anderson alumni watching, comment, show me some love. I would love to hear how you guys are doing. I can't wait to see you guys at our high school reunion, if somebody's planning that. If not, no pressure, but if there is one, like, love to see you there. Everybody else, if you like this video, you have to press the like button or the video won't know, and she's been asking me for lots of self-assurance, so please like the video, comment, subscribe, share, and as always, I'm here just because I told my brain that this TV show was exactly like my life, so I hope that you're telling your brain that you are victorious. Bye.